What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Happy Super Bowl Day, happy BAFTA Day. The British Academy Film and Television Awards have taken place. We have our winners, and this video is devoted to running down the winners, telling you guys who the victors were, and maybe in between we'll talk about how that impacts the Oscars. Now, this morning, we did the results of my own award ceremony on this channel. That was the Movie House Awards, the first ever. That was so awesome. Your all's winners blew me away. So happy with all of the participation in that, so you can check that out if you'd like. But this is all about the BAFTAs. I need your comments down below. Who did you think was going to win? What were your observations about this award show? And what is the impact on the Oscars? And if you enjoy these awards videos, be sure to smash that thumbs up button, because next week, it's the big one. It's the Oscars, but we'll get into that later. We're going to start out talking about all of the winners, and a few of these, like British short film, British short animation. Obviously, these are the British Academy Film and Television Awards, so it's a tad bit different the way that they vote, the movies that they vote for, and honestly, I have not seen either of these, so I'm just not going to hit on those. Now, for Rising Star, I do know, and it's funny because I know more about the ones who didn't win, like an Awkwafina, like a Caitlin Dever, than Michael Ward, who is known for Top Boy, amongst other things, who actually won this award. So I need you in the comments down below. What do I do to catch up on this guy? Because it's a pretty big deal that he won the Rising Star Awards. But let's move into the first one that I want to hit upon, and that is special visual effects. And I wasn't shocked, because we knew 1917 was going to win a lot of these awards. It is a British film, but for visual effects, you know, winning it over The Lion King and Avengers Endgame, while I don't have an issue with it, because part of what made this work, obviously, the cinematography, but the visual effects was a big part of how they seamlessly transitioned from scene to scene. But I think other people will see this and say, well, why didn't Endgame win? Why didn't The Lion King win? But for me, I think 1917 winning, especially for the BAFTAs, it makes a lot of sense. And then we move into sound, and this is unlike the Oscars, one sound category, the nominees being Joker, Ford v Ferrari, Rocketman, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Once again, 1917, but once again, we can't really argue because the sound was incredible. I would have probably taken Ford v Ferrari myself, but you can't deny the theatrical experience for what my favorite movie of the year is in 1917. That's where about half of you go, wow, I love the movie, and I'm happy to see it win a lot of these categories. Makeup and hair. The winner was actually Bombshell. Not 1917 this time, but it, again, makes a lot of sense. I do believe this one will most likely win the Oscar. Now, even though I don't think the BAFTAs have the world's biggest impact on the Oscars, there are a few categories here, and we'll get into those here in just a bit, that do affect how we look at who could win certain ones. But this is the first one where I see Bombshell and I say, that's probably a shoo-in for hair and makeup, or at least that's my prediction for the actual Oscars. And same goes with sound. Normally, not always, but for the last couple of years at least, we've been seeing sound mixing, sound editing go to the same film, and I think that may be the case for 1917 as well. I know in my video I said Ford v Ferrari for one of those, but 1917 looks to rack up a lot of these technical awards. We're going to scroll up. We're going to get that ad in there, missing link. Well, it's a good ad. It's a sweet film. But we're going to talk costume design really, really quick, and no doubt in my mind, Little Women is at least deserving of that category. Out of these choices, JoJo, Little Women, probably my top two. I think the costume design in both of those films were brilliant, but a very timely movie for Little Women, and every dress, every outfit was just perfect. Then you have production design, and it's another category that could have easily went to something like Joker, which is gorgeous, Jojo Rabbit, which captures everything you need that movie to capture. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood may have been the film that I would have veered towards, but once again, 1917 wins that award, and you can't deny that, oh my gosh, you feel like you're in that setting there with the character, and a lot of that is production design. I'm also surprised that Parasite wasn't nominated in that category. Then we come to editing. 1917 not nominated for editing, but we see that trend for these one-take films. It happened with Birdman, happened again with 1917. Same case for the Oscars. Ford v Ferrari, yeah, you got to give it to Ford v Ferrari. I love, love, love this choice. The racing scenes in particular, well, the entire third act, I think this is a great decision. Hard to put it over a movie like Jojo Rabbit. hard to put it over a movie like The Irishman. 3 hours, at least for me, it didn't really feel like 3 hours, and that's part of the editing, but Ford v. Ferrari, a great choice there. You know, even though 1917, being a British film at its core, is going to rack up a lot of these awards, I've not been truly upset with any of the winners so far, and let's see how everything else continues to go. Now, if 1917 is going to win anything, it is cinematography at the Academy Awards next week. And to see Roger Deakins claim what I believe is the final nail in the coffin of cinematography, basically saying, yeah, he's a shoo-in to win the Oscar. I love the other candidates. You know that I love The Lighthouse, Ford v. Ferrari. I think that movie looks amazing. Joker, one of the brightest and most beautiful films of the entire year. But Roger Deakins' 1917, come on. That's what the movie's all about. Casting. Here's an award we don't get at the Academy Awards, and shocked to see, not upset with, don't get me wrong, but shocked to see Joker win that category. Shayna Markowitz was the casting director here, and, you know, a lot of it has to do with Joaquin as the Joker, which, one of the most brilliant performances of the year, but then you have a Robert De Niro, you have a Zazie Beetz, and I do think the casting across the board in Joker was great, but to see it win over like A Marriage Story and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and a couple of those, I'm like, oh, wow. But y'all know me. Like, I ain't gonna say anything, but I'm happy with that. And then another one goes to Joker. And this one, another, for me, and this may not be everyone's opinion, but another nail in the coffin of what I think is a shoo-in at this point to win the Oscar. And I love Thomas Newman's score in 1917. There are a couple here that I think had a shot, but it is Joker. And I don't even want to try to pronounce her name. But she is slowly turning into one of my favorite composers working right now. She did Chernobyl. She did Joker. What a 2019 for her. And these next two, well, let's just scroll up and reveal all of the acting winners. It is as it should be. No, it is as it has been over the last, it feels like 3 months. This is one of the most shoo-in years for acting categories I've ever seen. Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Laura Dern, Marriage Story. She's probably going to win. Joaquin, I think out of all of them, he is most likely to win. Now, the one that I keep saying maybe Scarlett Johansson is going to surprise, maybe, and I love, by the way, I love Jessie Buckley got in there. Just to hit on the ones that didn't make the Oscar nominations, you got Taron Egerton, you've got Jessie Buckley, you've got Margot Robbie for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Everything else is pretty much the same as what we have seen so far, but the winners have not strayed from what we have seen so far. To me, all of these. Now, you may say there could be somebody sneaking in there like an Adam Driver or, like I said, a Scarlett Johansson, or heck, Scarlett Johansson for supporting could win as well, but they have been winning constantly, all four of these actors over the last couple of months, so I don't see that changing. I think all four of them are a lock for the Academy Awards. So here's an interesting statistic. No adapted screenplay has won the WGA and the BAFTA and then lost the Oscar in the last decade. What did Jojo Rabbit do? WGA, BAFTA. Now, we look back at trends and statistics and things that tell us one thing, and then Green Book wins Best Picture. Everybody's like, what? What happened? I think Jojo Rabbit at this point is a shoo-in for adapted screenplay. The fact that it nabbed both of those, the fact that I think they want to reward Taika Waititi, he didn't get a director nod. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture at this point. I still see it as possibly a wild card. To me, Jojo Rabbit is a shoo-in at this point for the Oscar, and this adapted screenplay win was huge, and I'm so happy. I've been watching Hunt for the Wilder People this morning. Don't know why. It was on Hulu. I think Taika Waititi is one of the best directors working today, but also one of the best writers working today. The way he weaved the script for Jojo Rabbit is brilliant, and I am not upset with that win at all. If I had to go someone else, maybe The Little Women, Greta Gerwig, could get it, but I think Jojo Rabbit will get it. Here's one that makes me happy. Original screenplay. I like seeing Booksmart in there, by the way, but then you have, your Knives Out, your Marriage Story, Once Upon a Times. No one is beating Parasite for original screenplay. It's just not happening. It's one of the best scripts. One of the best scripts, I don't want to say ever just yet, but at least in the last 10 years, I mean, the script is phenomenal. The character development, the work, what they do. Oh, you guys, I mean, you can't do it without the cast. You can't do it without the brilliant direction. But in terms of original screenplay, this is another one where I'm just like, yep, check it. We don't have history to back it up like we do Jojo Rabbit, but check it. We move on to director. Now, I still believe that Bong Joon-ho is the frontrunner for the Oscars. But who is his biggest competitor? Well, that is Sam Mendes. And a lot of people have been saying, well, whoever wins director, the other one will win Best Picture, because we have seen that trend before. So even though I want Bong Joon-ho to win directing, I'm also like semi-predicting Parasite could swoop in and win Best Picture. I still have 1917 as my choice for Best Picture, and this isn't what my heart's telling me necessarily, even though these are two of my favorite movies of the year, so it's hard to say which one I love more. But you guys know me. I think 1917, what it did, at least what it did for me, was brilliant. But here, back on track, for the BAFTAs, we have Sam Mendes, 1917, for Best Director. It's nice to see him get that victory, especially if Bong Joon-ho wins it at the Oscars, which I think he's going to. Then we have animated film, and here we go. Now, here's one, too. So we have Frozen 2, Toy Story 4, the Shaun and the Sheep movie, which has not come out yet in the United States. That actually comes out this month on Netflix, and Klaus. Speaking of Netflix, Klaus. Now, Klaus won the Annie Award. Klaus won the BAFTA. Klaus has made not a resurgence, but a surgence. What's the word I'm looking for? A surge as of late to knock on the door of Toy Story 4 and say, don't get too comfortable. So even though before my pick was Toy Story 4, and I'm going to make an updated Oscar video this week, but don't be surprised if you see this take home the Oscar. I still think it goes to Toy Story 4, but people are coming around on Klaus. And I love that movie, and y'all know I love that movie. Then we come to documentary, and this is another one that, not that I skipped documentaries this year. I watched Apollo 11. There were a couple that I really enjoyed that actually weren't nominated in this category. I believe this is pronounced For Sama. I don't know anything about this winner, so I can't speak upon it, but I did see a lot of people excited on Twitter, so I think people are happy about this win. Then we have Film Not in an English Language, The Farewell, Pain and Glory, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. So nice to see that in there. And then For Sama once again. But obviously, any kind of foreign language film is going to Parasite, because Parasite is Parasite, and it will forever be Parasite. You guys know this. Outstanding debut by a British writer, director, or producer. This is Mark Jenkins for Bait, a film that I did not get a chance to see. But congratulations to Mark Jenkins and Kate Byers and Lynn Waite. Then we have Outstanding British Film. And as it has been racking up these awards, we knew that 1917 would win this category. And this was actually announced before the ceremony even started, I believe. But it's cool to see Rocketman and Two Popes and 1917. It's going to win. And it is also going to win Best Film. And this was close. When I was predicting, I said, well, it's either going to be Parasite or 1917, but I believe everyone knew since the British Academy Film and Television Awards, I keep saying this, but once again, 1917 dominates, man. And I love this movie so much. I just had a friend, he called me earlier. He said, dude, you told me to go watch this in a theater. I did it. I was completely blown away. I had no clue he would love it as much as he did. But to see all of these, Parasite, 1917, those two especially. I just loved 2019. I loved 2019. Loved 1917. I love both of those as years, but 1917, the movie, I probably prefer over the year. What happened in that year? I don't know. I think my great-grandfather was born. That's a lie. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. These have been the winners for the 2020 BAFTA Awards. So much fun covering all of these awards this year. I love movies. I love talking about this. I cannot wait for the Academy Awards. I cannot wait to see how good I do on my predictions. I need you in the comments down below. And of course, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, letting me know how did you feel about this award ceremony in particular, and what would you like to see me cover this week in preparation for the Oscars. You guys are the best. I'll see you soon.